Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Midday Market Report, Closing Bell Weekend Edition. That's right, I said weekend. Been a while since myself and my co-host, Riley, have jumped on the weekends, and it's all my fault, not his. He's been here and available. We were going to start this show about 2.5, 3 hours ago. So it's just how busy we're getting, which is a good thing. I can't thank all you guys enough. ECSI, the VIPs, the family, the following, the ECSI Media Group, big and bigger. Just a couple days, a few 24 hours and masses launching. 10 a.m. it sounds like at the Encore in Plain Ridge and out in Springfield. And then at 6 p.m., there might be another guest at Encore, a former New England Patriot, Julian Edlow. I think you guys have heard of him. Might be swinging by there to place a wager or two. So I didn't say it. You heard it. It wasn't me, but just keep your eyes and ears open there. Myself and Southside Riley, he's got a blizzard going on there, and we saw the sun on sunny Cape Cod for the first time in forever today as we're trying to dry out. And myself and Riley today are going to talk some college hoops. We didn't do a 10 preview, but today we're going to talk some Big Ten, and we're going to talk the rest of the board. I'm going to throw this out here. ECSI VIPs were sweating out our first game. If I played the 1 o'clock game, we would have pushed. It was 136. We were giving out, and it was West Carolina and VMI. It landed on 136, so we didn't miss anything. I do want to say our UAB Rice over looks cooked. Thank you, Rice. But if you want to get into some second half in-game action, we got 48 total points scored in the first half with a second half number of 76.5. I will kindly tell everyone, if you want some second half action, scratch that itch. Take the over 76.5, as I think Rice will finally wake up and won't be minute Rice. We need 20 minutes of Rice and UAB to have some fun here. But enough of that. And I guess there's a couple football games tomorrow. Everyone's crawling out of the woodwork, asking. Take 2 quarters, flip them again. No, I have some thoughts on them. For ECSI VIPs, we've cornered this market. In mid-November, we got the Bengals at 13-1. Some got the 49ers at 12-1. Some got them at 13-1. Some even got them at 14-1. Before the tournament started, Jalen Hurts at plus 650 to win the Super Bowl MVP, and Patty Mahomes plus 400 to win the Super Bowl MVP. So we have action. We will have the action parlay on Sunday. We'll have everyone ready for that. We got some work to do, myself and Riley, today, and then hopefully the nightcap will come out. Some good games coming up tonight, but we'll get there. So without further ado, let's bring him in, the one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. Afternoon, Riley.
Afternoon, my friend. Happy Saturday afternoon. Like you said, it's been a while since we've done one of these, but even though we've lost a few games here, there's still plenty left on the table, so I am ready to get rock and roll and plenty of live stuff going on. Obviously, the PGA, it's been a few months since you and I have had, obviously, it's odd that it's Saturday afternoon and we still have a chance to talk about it, as opposed to the Sunday morning conversations that we usually have, but it looks like we may have a way of getting into this PGA tournament still. I think the leaders are 4, 5, 6 holes through, which we can get to in a second, but the Romster just double bogeyed to fall back even further, which is interesting because you and I saw Ryder he's got a 4-shot lead which Rahm wasn't included in that company. It was only minus 110. Rahm double bogeys, and it's still only minus 125 to get into the old rider there. So interesting numbers as far as that is concerned, and plenty of golf left to go. So I am ready to rock and roll, my friend. And obviously, we got football games tomorrow. That, like you said, pretty close to about as close of a couple of coin flip games as they can be. I also have my thoughts, but certainly not waving the giant bells and whistles as far as come check out my picks on these games. Like I said, I've got picks or thoughts, I should say. But definitely two games that are set up good conversation. I imagine so many people have different angles to it. So I am ready to rock and roll, my friend.
So you saying on the golf there's a day of hope anywhere or no?
I believe. Let's see. There is a day of hope. It looks like the odds that are interesting. So Sam Ryder still minus 125. I've got the leaderboard right in front of my on the TV as well. Hideki is red hot. He doesn't have as many holes left to play. He's 4 back, along with Max Homa 4 back. Homa is plus 360, and then it's Matsuyama 10-1. Rahm still 12-1. Finau 14, Colin Morikawa 21, and then Jason Day 22-1. He's at 8 under 5 back, so he's got some work to do, and not a ton of work to do as long as Ryder comes back to, maybe has a couple of bad holes. But I guess there is a ray of hope as far as Mr. Jason Day is concerned. Yes.
What hole is he on?
I'll have to double check that. They just pulled him away there, and Thigala is chipping for an eagle shot right here. Let me see. Day is on the 10th hole, so he's got the back 9 to make all this up. So not as opposed to Homa, who's on hole number 6, and he's 4 back there.
It sounds like the odds don't have a lot of faith in Ryder, and they're expecting him to fall back. I do know some of the pre-flop people were talking about Homer. I think Homer has had success there. Did he come in second last year, or did he lose in a playoff there? I know someone was talking Homer up.
You know what? I had some interest in him for some top 10 odds, but I have still I'm waiting until next week to finally jump into some of these here. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm honestly not as sure about that. That's as far as that's what's frustrating about it. My ROI on golf is among my highest in any league, but I can't roll into a conversation the same way that I can as some of these other sports that I don't have as much betting success in as far as knowing that type of knowledge. So my golf knowledge, as far as non-betting knowledge, is still trying to add to my plate. I'm not as much of a diehard as I am these other leagues, but Homa, though, as far as these finishing days, he just hasn't had as many closing days that get him to the window or get you to the window with them. So interested to see that. I just took a piece of him about 4-1 there. So I've got 3 guys that if any of them end up catching Mr. Ryder here, I'll be in the winner's circle here. So I'm interested to see how he finishes here.
Got some games tipping off at 4:00 in the college ranks. It's kind of funny. Listen, I have no success CLV. I know everyone on social media, gambling Twitter, they talk about CLV. Dave Sharapan comes out with his cans. I mean, you can, all the sharps that get to pick through the startup numbers with Circa on college football on those Sundays when we're getting ready for the NFL. They got these lists this long. They're able to bet around 2,000 per game. Circa uses their information to set the actual number to release where these guys are going. So a lot of times they have a list this long, the Brad Powers of the world and a bunch of the others, that none of us ever see those numbers that are not there. My spreadsheet offers overnight numbers, and then we go off of our overnight numbers and then use Ken Palm's projected numbers and then try to shop around to see if we can get a 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9-point edge. Anyone watching and listening, my overnight total on the Arkansas Baylor was 147.5. And on Ken Palm, they had it at 148, 76.72 Baylor. We were able to get 141. We bought the hook at Circa early this afternoon. I'm looking right now at Circa. He's back to 144. So, yes, we got CLV. Yes, we got a great number. It usually doesn't bode well, though.
No, I know it's important, and we've laughed, especially as far as the NBA with these injuries. And is it important to get the best possible number? Yes, but I find it far more important as far as football is concerned. Not to say that it isn't, but yeah, whenever you're thinking you've got that type of edge, you're selling yourself on something that end up doesn't get there. So I hope it gets there for you. But as far as a 1-2 point total, a lot of, like you said, you had one today that you left on the desk that pushed, so it does matter obviously, but just not as much of a that type of discrepancy in basketball as much as it is in some of these other sports.
I'm just trying to see, we're sweating this one out. Are we getting any help? Of course we're not. 3:33 left. You needed to, here, I'm bad with this. Presbyterian was basically a pick. They ended up closing +1. They're down by 21. We need some kind of push. 70-49 with 3:33 left, and we got over 132. And again, when you're down by 21, you're going to lose those last couple minutes of the grab and foul where you can score. We had a game this week that we scored 19 points in the last minute and a half to get an over. Yeah. So we need a little help from whatever the damn thing is. But I'm looking at some halftime numbers. Geez, again, this is Wisconsin at its best, and you're Illinois, guys. 20-16 at halftime. I thought Rice was bad. Wisconsin with a 16-burger, 2 touchdowns, and a 2-point conversion. But Illinois with 2 touchdowns and a field goal. No, actually 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. 20-16 at half. What are they doing out there?
Hey, there's at least one Big Ten game a weekend. It's like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. You laughed about it with the Michigan State. At least one of them's due for about as exciting as watching paint dry. So, I'll probably pop that one up here at some point here in the second half. But no, I mean, Wisconsin's defense obviously is got to be what gives them some of these wins. And this is definitely a spot where you expect them to have some desperation. But their offense is definitely leaving a lot to be desired these days. And we talked a week ago as far as the actual Big Ten preview last week. You asked me who my team was that I was selling, and maybe it was an easy choice. But Wisconsin, especially offensively, has looked ugly. So, yeah, maybe their home field or home court advantage here can help them out. Against an Illinois team that's been hard to figure out. They had a less than favorable spot against Ohio State. They looked fantastic, and Ohio State kind of laid a stinker. I don't remember what day of the week that was this week, and Illinois looked really solid. So interested to see how that one plays out. If Wisconsin can't win this one, that obviously they've got some big wins or games ahead of them that they could add to their resume, but I don't know. This one, if they can't get this one, that might be, I don't want to say a kiss of death. There's a lot of time to be played, but they will have a much tougher hill to climb and I don't think they will be able to if they lose this one.
Final score, Winthrop 76, Presbyterian 58. Can you do the math for me? What does that add up to?
76-58. What is that, 134?
And we had over 132. Sound the bells. Sound them.
I love it. Nothing better than a down to the wire, sweaty college basketball finish to get you where you need to go.
Start the day 1-0, and we know we're cooked with Rice. I just want, for poops and giggles, before we dig in here, maybe you just got a little life. And my spreadsheet's bouncing all around, and my internet and your internet combined is, let me just see here. I'm telling you, guys, anyone watching and listening that's not an ECSI VIP, if you're just a regular follower or listener, you talk about all the bad beats. I'm an open book here, okay? Our last 5 games here in the VIPs, okay? I was telling Riley behind stage. I'm going to tell everyone here, if you're not a VIP. We got the bank 3-pointer against Michigan.
Yep.
To cover the 5.5 there.
You got the 2 biggest beats, on the right side of the 2 worst beats of the week.
We had Washington State plus 5.5. Both those games we bought the hook. They were 5. We bought the 5.5. So Arizona breaks the press and gives it to a guy off the bench for a dunk, and he missed the dunk. Washington State picks up the rebound and launches a 3 at the buzzer, lands on 5. So we covered those 2 games. Okay. Last night we had team total Rangers over 3.5 plus 120. They get an empty net goal, which ECSI VIPs never get. So that's 3. We had 149.5. We get a free throw with 4 seconds left to get to 150. And today we had 132 over. We get the last second bucket to get to 134. That's 5. Now the funny thing is, you remember, see, and here I'm going live, and I get this thing. It's 15 points from Rice at half. Not good for our over. Boom, LOL. But they remember that stuff. But he doesn't remember, as I'm trying to multitask here, that we get the over here. They remember the bad and forget the good. Can you just add to that so they understand?
No, I understand the losses do hurt worse, and those are the ones where you're cussing under your breath sometimes when those type of games lose, or even when you have a game like that with Rice where it's potentially not even close, and you're asking yourself, what the hell was I doing with this one? But as much of it as a process, that they're going to go your way the opposite way, they're going to go your way in the negative way. So you really gotta appreciate when you get those awesome winners, especially like you said, you've got the 2 biggest worst beats on the right side of the 2 worst beats of the week with the 2 that you had there. So. And not to mention whatever it was, the Pac-12 one, the score bug on the actual screen counts the dunk on the screen. So anyone who's watching is thinking they might have a winner, and then they take that 2 away, and that's a quick loser. So it gets comical.
I need you to be the final guy here, because I'm showing 76.58, and I'm showing on this app 76.56. So there's a 2-point bucket at the end. On your app, what do you have for a final?
Let's see. It was Presbyterian.
Yeah.
Let's see. 76.58 is on ESPN.
Okay. So you can. I was going to say send me a snapshot. Okay.
I got 2 apps to open here. Let me see if I can find the other one. Yeah, I got 2 apps confirming the good 58.
All right, so we're going to go with that again. Actually, let me go to this last one. Anyone watching and listening that wants to jump in and just give me a confirmation for the third wheel, it would be helpful here. Here we go. See, now I'm showing on this one 76.56 as well.
Shoot.
But this is tied.
Let's what is it? Presbyterian and who?
Winthrop.
Okay.
We've lost our audience too because we're not talking the games, but it is what it is. It's a weekend here. You got any confirmation anywhere else?
I was trying to do Google, but they're not even popping me. They're not even popping this damn thing up. No, I don't know. I'm not getting a third confirmation here. I don't know. I'm going to Winthrop's website here. Let's see if this helps us.
Any luck?
No, I'm going to go actually Twitter probably. I don't know. I've got nothing here.
All right. Well, we've spent a bazillion hours. Actually, I'll go right here for the.
I see on Twitter it's a 76-58 final from this guy. I assume is a maybe he was calling the game.
Rice has got already 10 points in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, they're about to match their first half total in about 13 in about 6 minutes.
Yep.
Let me see here for the.
Yeah, I got on Twitter. Winthrop Live retweeted something that was 76-58. So I think that's good confirmation.
All right, I'm gonna just close here. All right, so I'm ready when you are. Apologies to everyone watching.
That's all right. You got to know if you got a winner or not there. I'll start it off because I'm wondering if it's tipped off yet here. One of my plays, this doesn't say that it's tipped off yet. Moved down to 1.5. As far as talking about closing line value, I got them plus 2.5. I took a swing with Mississippi State today at home against TCU, Big 12 SEC matchup there. TCU, obviously hot team in the Big 12, probably the hottest team right now. The win against Kansas last week, win this week, huge win over Oklahoma this week, and Mississippi State, kind of an under-the-radar team, but they've lost, I think, 5 in a row. In conference there. A lot of them have been close games. So I took a down to plus 1.5. Interested to see how things start off. But I took a swing with Mississippi State today in that one.
Mississippi State is one of those teams that usually starts out guns a-blazing, gets into conference play, struggles with the iron, as obviously they're doing right now. 52 ranked still on KenPom, 13th TCU. KenPom's got 64-63 TCU. So I bring up the TCU resume right now. 16-4 in conference, 5-3 losses at home to Iowa State by 2, at Texas by 4. So both good games there. The 9-point loss at West Virginia. We just saw what West Virginia can do earlier today. Mississippi, and then they come back with a 23-point road win at Kansas, and then back it up with a 27-point win against Oklahoma. So obviously they're cooking with Cisco at this point. So now you look at this Mississippi State team, 12-8. Losses to Drake, Alabama, Tennessee. The Drake one is, but Alabama, Tennessee, obviously. Then they get a 10-point win against Ole Miss. Now, let's look at this. At Georgia, they lose by 8. At Auburn, they lose by 6. They come home, lose to Tennessee by 11. They lose to Florida by 2. And then they lose to Alabama by 3. So you can look at it this way. Not playing well, poured their heart out at Alabama, lost. In comes TCU, the perfect storm. Okay? Yet KenPom's got this 64-63. TCU. I was born at night, not last night. You know how I operate here. Hands down, a Mississippi State number. Hands down, a Mississippi State number.
And we started talking about it this week, and I don't want it to be what drives our conversations necessarily, but as far as the bubble watch, bracketology watch, I just looked it up. Mississippi State's not even the first 8 teams out right now. This is one, luckily on their schedule, if you're looking at it from the chance, resume building, this is as good as it gets aside from some of the games they have in conference. And I think even, actually, I don't know that they have another ranked SEC opponent in conference the rest of the way, at least obviously right now. Arkansas, Kentucky, obviously good teams, but same thing with Missouri. But this is the biggest resume builder game that they have remaining on the schedule right now. So that was part of it here, and I'll take a couple extra points and 2.5 points. Hopefully it's a close. Or obviously, I hope Mississippi State wins box to wire. But worst case scenario, I hope it's down to the wire, and if they lose, they only lose by 1 or 2 for me there.
And I like to say this in these type of games, you might want to sprinkle something little beer and pizza money on Mississippi State first half. Hopefully they get out early. And at least you can, again, if you're putting a full unit on them full game, just some beer and pizza money to cover a little something if they have a great first half and then TCU catches them at the wire. But to me, this is a Mississippi State or nothing play. Right.
That's where I was at. I was looking to see what we've got already. I think there's 3 or 4 of these games already, and it's kind of gone back and forth. Big 12 SEC, who's, it's not like one of them's dominating so far here. So a couple surprises so far, though. We didn't mention it. Oklahoma is almost closing on a 30-point win against number 2 Alabama. Missouri on the opposite side about to close a 20-point win against Iowa State, and Texas Tech. The two Jekyll and Hyde teams of each conference, Texas Tech, LSU. Texas Tech is finishing out the win there. So that was the one. I just want to get that one out of the way because that one just started here. So let's see. I'm trying to see what else.
It's funny, too. We've talked about it for weeks here. That Missouri team just gets no credit. No credit
I know.
at all.
Right. And this is a huge one. As I was another one that I was interested in there, but I've found some luck in certain spots in the Big 12 betting against Iowa State, but at the end of the day, they're a tough team to bet against. But obviously, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that game super closely, but not a team that can come back from a 20-point deficit. If they're getting down, that's it's almost a wrap as far as that is concerned. They're the team that is trying to build a 20-point lead and then cling on to it there, obviously. So what were your thoughts? I didn't have anything on this one. Miami and Pitt. A little bit of not quite the same story as the one we just talked about in the ACC, but to some degree, Pitt kind of underachieving Miami, obviously ranked team AP. It was by close, it was Miami -1, 1.5. Did you have any interest in Pitt in that one, or was this Pitt team not doing it for you?
Miami is one of those you go against and then you just sit there and you shake your head. Pittsburgh 65 on KenPom, Miami 36. He's got it 76-75. Pull up their resume, 14-7 in play, 7-3. So they've done very well. Their only loss in their conference losses at Duke by 8. Where else? They lost at home to Florida State by 7. That's disturbing. And they lost at home to Clemson by 1, which is So let me pull up Miami right now. 16-4. Conference 7-3. They lost at Duke by a deuce. They lost at NC State by 2 in OT. And they lost at Georgia Tech. So what did I say? 3 straight losses, all on the road. An absolute coin flip here. Miami got Virginia Tech at home next game. Let me see. Who's Pitt got next game?
Let's see. Pitt
has North Carolina at North Carolina.
On Wednesday, yeah. And Miami's got Virginia Tech at home on Tuesday.
This is a coin flip. I'll lean. Miami gets it done.
Okay. I'm not hating on it at all. Like you said, this Miami team has been maybe one of the teams early on that I realized I just can't figure out when it's a good time to bet on them or against them. This is one team that's beaten me up a little bit this year. So I left it completely on the desk. And I think even Pitt in the same vein, I've tried to believe in them a couple times and taken some licks on them. So I was staying on the sidelines for that one pretty heavily. Let's see. Got to wade through these ones that are just starting here. The other one that I was interested in, same Big 12 AC or Big 12 SEC, Florida and Kansas State. Let's see, what did I catch? I've got Florida plus 4.5 on this one. Kansas State obviously getting a lot of respect. They're coming off a loss at Iowa State this week, but Florida is starting to play some solid basketball right now. Wins over that Mississippi State team, South Carolina last two, lost to Texas A&M at Texas A&M. So the road factor here, them coming into this one, should be a tough environment, but had some belief in Florida that this one is going to be close, and time for some regression, maybe for some Kansas State action here.
Palm, 25th for Kansas State, 43rd for Florida, 73-68 final, with Kansas State winning by 5. Kelly stood 3 losses coming off. They have not lost twice in a row this year. They got a loss at Butler, a loss at TCU, and a loss at Iowa State. 6-2 in conference play. In comes Florida. Florida has been playing better. In conference now, 5-3. They beat South Carolina. They beat Mississippi State. They lost at A&M. They beat Missouri at home by 9. It was a nice win at LSU. They won at Georgia by 7. They had 3 losses in a row at neutral Oklahoma, at Auburn by 3. A&M. I like where your eyes are. I do. If I was you and I had that Florida ticket, though, Kansas State can blow you out of the building. So I'd sprinkle a little something on Florida first half just in case, because you'll know early if they're going to get run out of the building.
Well, playing with fire a little bit, because Florida, you could make a case that both of these have a serious look ahead. I would lean Kansas State peaking a little harder. Florida's got Tennessee this week on Wednesday in Florida. Obviously a tough one in the conference there, but Kansas State is going to Kansas this week, their next game on Tuesday. They'll be in Kansas on Tuesday. And obviously that's, if they can sweep them, that's their Super Bowl. Maybe not their Super Bowl at this point, but you know what I mean here. So, no, I like what you're saying, though, as far as the first half. I've had some success in some spots betting against K-State, but I think exactly a week ago today I had Texas Tech against them, and it was Texas Tech controlling it the entire game, and then the last minute Texas Tech couldn't throw it into an ocean. So this is one of my 2 plays of the day, but K-State is if I lose on this one again, I'm not touching the K-State stove again. How about that?
I thank you.
Let's see. Actually, let's get some Big Ten games in there. We got the one going right now. Illinois up to 26-18 lead right now. The live spread looks like 4.5 on the spread there. The total 104 there. The other 2, Northwestern already got the win this morning against Minnesota, 20-point win as a 12.5-point favorite there at home. These other 2, this first one I don't have strong thoughts on. Nebraska and Maryland. Maryland's been playing better for the most part here. Nice win against Ohio State earlier this month, and they turn around and lose to Iowa. Turn back around and beat Michigan at home. Nice win. And then tough loss, I think it was a week ago on a Sunday. So last Sunday, lose a tough one to Purdue that they had a serious chance of winning, and then they really took care of business against Wisconsin. So this it feels like a statement to me, the line here, as far as these Nebraska games. They've had typically it's a single-digit spread against some of the better teams in the conference whenever Nebraska is the right side. So the 11.5, I'm not running to the window, but I guess I would lean towards a nice game for Maryland here.
Let me see here. You know me and the Terps, right? I mean, I don't know what you want me to say when it comes to Terp basketball.
I know.
Just when you count Nebraska out, though, they tend to bite you in the you-know-what. There it is right there. Ken Palm's got 69-59. Terps winning by 10. Maryland 33rd, Nebraska 98. Let me see here if I can pull that. What time do you have that starting, Riley?
3:30 4:30 your time. So in about 10 minutes, actually.
Okay, let me pull up my overnight numbers. We had 10.5, 129.5. Small lean on Nebraska, finding a way to cover this. When you count them out, they've actually woken up.
Yeah.
This might be that sleep spot from Maryland. They've had time to get up, have breakfast, goof around. They probably goofed around all Friday night. Hoping the Cornhuskers come to play. I lean taking the points here.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's not one that I was too interested in, but I can hear it for you for sure. The other one, Indiana hosting Ohio State. Ohio State looked like it should have had a good chance against Illinois the other day. Like I was talking about, they did not look as good. Illinois looked pretty good. Now they come into the hottest team in the conference in Indiana. 4 straight wins, home against Wisconsin, at Illinois, home against Michigan State last week, and then I didn't watch it, but only a 4-point win against Minnesota earlier in the week this week. Got an Ohio State team that we're just waiting for them to, I don't know what their ranking still is per KenPom, but still very highly ranked despite 11-9 record. So I was kind of torn on this one because, as the flip side of the Wisconsin conversation, this Indiana team was the team that I was buying a week ago, have had a great week and a half or so. But you should see a desperate Ohio State team here. So I am torn. I think this should be a really good game. I guess I kind of lean towards Ohio State keeping this one close, but this Indiana team and the environment that they play in, when they're rolling, it's about as crazy and loud and as much energy in an environment as there is in college basketball right now. So I am torn on this one. So if you've got to lean on this one, please, by all means, give it down.
Give me a tip-off time for that one.
7 my time, 8 your time. This one's a little later. This is on Fox, I think, tonight.
Overnight number 3 with a 147, steamed up to a 5. First thought, again, is the Ohio State number. We said that early in the week. I said that, and they got boat raced. Indiana is, as you said, in Fuego, all that a lot of experts thought was the team. 4 in a row, Wisconsin, at Illinois, Michigan State at home, at Minnesota. In comes Ohio State.
Ohio State's the higher ranked team per KenPom is the crazy part
11
of this.
and 9. 11 and 9. They have lost 6 of their last 7. Their only win is what we had them against Iowa.
Yep.
They got whiskey coming in at home. I'm going to say it out loud, guys. You got to go and trust and respect the opening number. It's 3. Okay. KenPom still has this at 3. Okay. And I know I'm going to buck the trend. This is Ohio State all day. Let them public steam this thing up. I'm seeing 5s across the board. Maybe wait a little while, grab your 5.5, sprinkle a little beer and pizza money on Ohio State winning this outright. Play Ohio State in the first half. Why? Because you'll know early. Indiana comes out guns a-blazing. This number was 3 for a reason. So I'm all in here on Ohio State.
Yeah, no, there has to be some desperation from this Ohio State team, and as good as Indiana is playing, they're not invincible by any means. And yeah, Ohio State still got some games left on the schedule that they can go on a nice little run. And now if you ask me who am I buying in the Big Ten, I guess this Ohio State team would be potentially the answer after at least compared to where they've been. But this one should be a good one. I'm glad this is kind of closing things out tonight, at least for the Big Ten. This should be a really good one here. So kind of jumped around a little bit. That one obviously is a later game. There's another one, ACC game. They laid a stinker earlier in the week against Miami as a close home dog. Florida State hosting Clemson, 17-4 Clemson. And all we've got here is a 2.5. I have the last 2 years had too many spots like this where I find interest in Florida State, so I will be staying far away. Do you think this is a good spot for Florida State, or are you also staying far away from them like I am?
Yeah, I mean, you just nailed it. Florida State on KenPom 158, Clemson 58. KenPom's got them winning by 5. And it's a pretty good statement here. This Florida State team can't get out of their shadow. I'm trying to find what time you have for a tip-off there.
That one is 4 my time, 5 your time, so at about 30 minutes from now.
I had a Clemson 3.5, now down to 2.5. This is what we call the Jedi mind tricks in Vegas. Ken Palm says one thing. Now, Clemson, here's the other side. Hunter is expected to play. Hemingway and Galloway both doubtful, so maybe that's why the line is dropping. I'm not buying either side. This is a stay far, far away. I'm not buying the injury thing like they do in the NBA, run to the window because Tatum's out and, the Celtics go on and win by 20. Kyrie's playing now, run to the window, and the Nets lose by 20. I'm not buying it. That's why the number's dropping. Stay far, far away from this game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And like I said, I've had too many interests in Florida State in certain spots, and I think they've hit their peak. They're 5-5 in conference after what they started. That's kind of impressive, or whatever they were, 2-9 or something along those lines. And now you kind of tipped us off to it earlier in the week when they had Miami. They were 5-4 at that point. You probably got time for now coming back to earth to some regression. So. I don't think that was just a one-off spot there. Again, maybe they win this game. I have no idea. But like you said, I am staying far away from this one as well. Let's see here. Arizona at Washington in the Pac-12. 4:30 my time, 5:30 your time, about an hour from now on Fox. This one is in Washington. Arizona by 8.5, 9. It looks like sometime 8.5, 9, 9.5 is looks like all over the place here. This Washington team is actually playing pretty well lately. Feel like this is a reaction to how well they're playing. I think they've won 4 of the last 5 or so here, but obviously you've got Arizona 3 straight wins. Last week had the huge win against UCLA. Only a 5-point get against Washington State. Does this say I could go either way? The Pac-12 is usually out of my wheelhouse. I like to watch it when I can, but typically out of my wheelhouse. Which way are you leaning on this one?
Ken Palm's got it 79-72. Washington now 104 on Ken Palm. Arizona 15. I think the number's a little inflated. Again, I don't want to say both teams are Jekyll and Hyde. Arizona's the blue blood, they're the corporate office, and in comes this Washington team. Place will be rocking. I think they're pretty spot on with this number. A small lean to the Washington Huskies here, getting up for this game. But again, something that I'm not going to even dip my toes in.
Yep, definitely on that one as well. 5 my time, 6 your time. One of the games of the day, 2 top 10 teams for the AP. Texas at Tennessee. They had the game day there on ESPN this morning in Tennessee. I am seeing 5.5 for the most part across the board. 132.5. Both teams 17-3. Texas last 2 win at West Virginia last weekend. Win at home pretty handily against OK State. Tennessee 3 in a row at Mississippi State, at LSU, and home against Georgia. They smoked Georgia by about 30 points. I don't know. Any respect to the dog and this one being a down-to-the-wire game? I honestly don't know what to expect out of this game. I like both these teams a lot. This one will be a popcorn game for sure here in an hour and a half. I enjoy watching these two teams a little too much, and I guess I lean towards 5.5. But if you tell me I'm completely wrong, I would not be upset at you.
My overnight numbers tell the story here, and I'll tell you why. Because I had a 7 with a 135.5. If you float a 7 out to the public, and you got 2 teams highly ranked here, Ken Palm, Tennessee 2, Texas 9. There's only one way that number can go, and that's down. And they're going to say, you're going to give me Texas plus 7. So you're seeing that number that trickle down. I'm seeing 5.5. It's 5.5 right now at Circa. Here's what I would suggest. It's a 132.5 under over, so points will come at a premium. This Tennessee team, if they come to play, can run you out of a gym in a heartbeat. Yes. So I would lean Tennessee full game minus the 5 by the hook. I would definitely play Tennessee first 5. I assume they're minus 2.5 or 3 there. Ken Palm has Tennessee 72-64 winning by 8.
Wow.
So there's a statement right there. I definitely lean Tennessee the side here.
And it's almost one of those totals where both these teams have good defenses. Texas has kind of dipped a little bit, but Tennessee is the number 1 ranked defense per Ken Palm there. And their offense has just been clicking too well, transition baskets, whatever it is. So I'm staying away from it. Like I said, it's a popcorn game, but I'm glad you. I have no action whatsoever on it. Not in my action parlay or anything like that. So I definitely agree with where you took that, though. I could definitely see it going Tennessee's way pretty handily there. Let's see. Did we have? Is this the game that we had, or is it another one? No, okay, never mind. It was Portland is hosting the Portland Pilots hosting Gonzaga. I forgot which Portland Pilots game you and I were both all over, and I took to the window a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was San Francisco. I think that was it. I think it was San Francisco they played. Only 13.5 though. Is that one a little stinky to you there?
Yeah, Gonzaga right now 18th, Portland 167. They're going to go up and down like Greyhound racing. Basically, Ken Palm's got it 87-77, only a 10-point win. I like Portland here with the points. I would say check your under over total here. Again, Ken Palm's got them scoring 164 points. It's going to be a racehorse game. I think Portland finds a way to cover. I think the Zags obviously win, but I do lean Portland at home tonight.
Yeah, coming up, they 88 points scored offensively, 91. They've been playing better, and then they kind of laid a stinker this week. So I think they could be definitely due for a nice offensive bounce back. And Gonzaga is good, like you said, but they're not invincible like they, or at least especially within their conference like this. So I won't say Portland is going to win this. Like you said, Gonzaga should win, but nothing would surprise me at this point. I think Gonzaga's probably got another surprising loss in them at some point here. So whether or not it's tonight, I don't know. But yeah, I think they could have a letdown at some point here. Other big game of the night, Kansas at Kentucky, 2.5. Looks like I'm trying to see if that's still consensus across the board for the most part. Yeah, 2.5 there. Kentucky at home. Kansas. It's interesting. You and I talked about this Kansas team. I don't remember if it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. They've been were skating by the skin of their teeth through the Big 12. Obviously, a tough conference. And you and I were talking. This Kansas team with Bill Self usually has a lull in them at some point in the schedule each year. And it was, okay, well, has it been this past couple of weeks where they're only winning by 2 against some of these middle-of-the-pack teams in the Big 12? Now they've lost 3 in a row at K-State. Obviously an awesome game, one of the better games of the year, 82-83. Smoked at home by TCU. And then, let's see, earlier in the week, this week, lose by 6 at Baylor. Kentucky finally turning the wheels in the right direction, 4 straight wins. I don't have any action on this one. I lean towards the under on the total. That was really the only interest that I had out of this one. I could go either way on the spread, though. Did you have thoughts on the total, and did you have a lean either way, Kansas or Kentucky?
Ken Palm, 31st now, Kentucky, Kansas 10. He's got it 71-70, Kentucky. My overnight number was a pick 'em at 141, now steamed to 2.5. If you were betting Kentucky, you've missed the best number. I wouldn't suggest running to the window playing the 2.5. To me, it's a Kansas number. But again, we've been waiting for this Kentucky team. They've had some ugly losses. They're ugly. Listen, Kansas should come out guns a-blazing, a little sense of urgency with the 3-game losing streak. Again, you get close to the top 10, top 5, even the number 1 spot. Talking to a good friend of mine with the cursed number 2 spot, Alabama today gets to number 2 again and gets blown out. I say it's the curse of number 2. UConn 14-0, number 2 in the country. Where are they now? Licking their wounds. So don't get to number 2. Because you're basically be stepping in number 2. I listen, I would go to the window right now. I would buy the hook. I'd take Kansas plus the 3, sprinkle a little beer and pizza on the money line for Kansas. Would I be shocked if Kentucky made a statement? Primetime, big game? No, I wouldn't. Absolutely not. But I'm going with my overnight numbers. I'll let the public steam it up. Go to the dry cleaner, steam it to 3 for me, will you? So I don't need the hook. But it's Kansas or nothing for me tonight. Okay,
fair enough. I cannot disagree. Another one where it felt like, Kentucky is starting to play better. Kansas has lost 3 in a row. I've got no action on the spread there. But I agree with you. I was thinking Kansas as well in this one. They're a team that, again, they have lulls throughout the season, and they get it figured out. In most cases, they get it figured out. Obviously, for a while, they had some ugly tournament losses, but I'm with you 100% on that one. We already talked about Ohio State, Indiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma State, a couple of interesting teams there. Feels like a few too many for an Oklahoma State team that's kind of offensively challenged there, but I don't know. Any thoughts on that one? I don't have any action on it, but Ole Miss, obviously 9-11. OK State, 11-9. Very good defensive team. So if you tell me they're going to win by 10 because of their defense, I would not be surprised at all. They're coming off of a loss at Texas earlier in this week. Didn't have a great showing there. Lost by 14. Mississippi, 2 straight losses, 4 of their last 5 at the least there. Any thoughts on that one?
2 defensive teams, which means it probably goes flying over. We know that for a fact. This Ole Miss team is just, we had them earlier in the week and nowhere to be found. And I just discussed it with them. Another Jekyll and Hyde team for me. Where did I have them? 92nd right now on Ken Palm, Oklahoma State 38. Ken Palm's got them 68-59, winning by 9. It wouldn't shock me if they won by 29, but it also wouldn't shock me if Ole Miss came in there and gave them a scare as well.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one as well. I was staying far away from that one. I've had some interesting spots with OK State. I had them, I think it was a week ago against Iowa State, and it was got the win on the money line. But obviously Iowa State's defense is fantastic, but their offense, it was a tough watch as far as Oklahoma State's offense. It was a tough watch. I think that is it. There's obviously some late games here. No, jumping off the page as far as popcorn type games there, but anything else, late games or anything else that I missed throughout the slate? Actually, I guess St. Mary's and BYU would probably be the best late game there. 9 my time, 10 your time. St. Mary's is ranked now for the AP 22nd. They are 6.5 point favorites at BYU. Not enough or too many?
BYU, usually this is the spot they play the Zags late night on a Saturday night, and they get them. St. Mary's now kind of sort of in that spot. I'm a big St. Mary's fan, not high on BYU. I had a 5.5 for the 128.5, now steamed up to 6.5. Let's see what Ken Palm is saying here. We can help everyone out here that's stuck around. See if they got that in this game. BYU. Number 7, St. Mary's on Ken Palm. Number 7, BYU at 81. He's got 67-60. I like St. Mary's here. It's a good spot for BYU, but St. Mary's is the better side for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't had much action in with these two teams in a while. But yeah, St. Mary's is obviously looking really good there. So anything else? Same conference, San Francisco, same time, I think. Only 3.5, 4 point favorites at San Diego. Is that one fishy to you at all there?
I'm a Don fan.
I know.
I'm a Don fan. They've been very, very good to us. So I will break down this one for everyone because everyone looks for the late night. Listen, I shut the windows. I got the games up. I got my homework. I'm already on to tomorrow. Well, what do you think happens on my phone on the late nights? And a lot of the times they're coming out. They're calling me from the bars. They're calling me from the closet because the wife can't hear. They want to know. They want to know.
Not to interrupt, but especially in college basketball tonight, because this is the first night where there's not really anything else. This is the first Saturday without football. There's no UFC tonight. So I think even more so tonight, it's a little concerning there.
All right. So we're going to get the full breakdown here. Give me 1 second. Where are the Dons? All right. I'll pull them up. San Fran.
San Diego got him the first match. This is the second game. Sorry.
Okay. So San Fran lost at home. They lost at home 60 to 80-68. Okay. Ken Palm's got it 80-77 San Fran. So we look at the numbers here. I had a 2.5 for the 156.5. It's steamed to 4. Okay. So that's number 1. 14-9. San Fran has won 2 in a row. Before that, they lost at Portland and they lost at home to St. Mary's. They squeaked one out by 2 against Loyola Marymount. Then they lost by 2 to the Zags. They lost by 12 to San Diego, and they lost by 12 to Santa Clara. So let's pull up San Diego here. They beat Pepperdine by 10, and then they lost to Portland by 5. They lost by 14 to Loyola. They beat Pepperdine by 3, lost by 20 to BYU, 2 to Pacific. So if you look at their resume real close here, you get a loss and a win. Then you get 2 losses and a win, 2 losses and a win, a loss and a win, 2 losses and a win, 2 losses and a win, 2 losses and a win. So I'm going to go on record here, peeps. San Fran wins today. Now, the big question is we can't get them at my 2.5. We can't get them at our 4 number. So we got to be cute here. If you're looking for some late night action and you got to scratch an itch and you're putting a parlay together, use San Fran tonight on the money line. What is their money line number? Can you pull that up for me?
I believe the best number to find is 175, minus 175.
Think about this, guys. They're only a 4-point favorite, and yet they're minus 175. You got to figure who you're going to tie them up with. I like San Fran to go to the window here. I don't know who you can. If you want to scratch an itch tomorrow, you do a late night San Fran money line with Philly money line, or if whoever you like tomorrow night. So this will be your late night scratch San Fran money line, and then take it to the window with whatever you want to bet tomorrow. Philly, San Fran. There you go. Hey. If you want a San Fran, you want to get jiggy with the San Fran here. So San Fran, the Dons, and I am the Don of Cape Cod, some people say. And then you can play them with the 49ers by the hook up to 3, by a full point up to 3.5, or you want to sprinkle them on the money line, you can do that. How's that?
Fair enough, my friend. Anything else in college basketball that I did not mention, or anything else that's going on live that we haven't updated here? Let's see. What's the 68 plus 49? UAB Rice, 68-49 with 105 left.
All right. So what was the first half number?
What was it, 48?
Let's see here. It was 48. All right. So let's do some quick math here. It was 48.
It's at 117 right now.
And it's at 117. So that's 9. That's 0. That's 69. They need, they're going to have a hard time. You need 8 points in the last minute. No fouls.
Something like that. 8-9.
Well, I guess we scratched
game.
out. Rice cooked us today. Rice cooked us. 23-20 Baylor with about 6 minutes to go in the first half there. Baylor shooting technical here. So someone must have done something wrong. No, I think you covered it. There was one game that I was going to do a quick homework assignment on. And I probably lost. I think actually it was Pac-12. Arizona State, Washington State. I had a 2.5. It has been pushed to 3.5 in a few spots. And I thought it smelt a little. I want to see what 63 ranked on Ken Palm for Washington State, 59 for Arizona State. He's got it 67-64. Washington, again, hits the 3. There's 3 in a row in conference. They're 4-7 in conference. They're 9-13 overall. The 3 losses in a row at Utah, at Colorado, and then obviously they just lost to Arizona. This Arizona State team is a Jekyll and Hyde, 15-6. So listen to what I just said here. Arizona State is 15-6, guys. Washington State is 9-13, yet they're 3-point favorites. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Washington State is the play tonight. That's all I'm going to say. I could be wrong. And again, Jekyll and Hyde here with this Arizona State team. They are the Jekyll and Hyde Kings.
Yeah.
Arizona State beat them on January 5th, 77-71. I like Washington State tonight, guys. I think they get the revenge back. It was the score. They were down 10 late to Arizona. They lost by 3 to Colorado, and they lost by 14 to Utah. I like the spot that they're in today. I think they get it done.
I like it, my friend. We can get a few NBA. There was a couple of games in the NBA that were kind of interesting, and then we can finish up. I don't want to have to go on. I don't want to go on a rant about my Bulls because they've plenty of people have ranted about them plenty. 3-point favorites, 2.5 3-point favorites at Orlando. In a spot where they blow a 20 or so point lead to the Pacers, which was a back-to-back spot. It was an ugly finish, but the wheels fell off, and then they turn around at Charlotte. After they had a team meeting or whatever the hell they had after the Pacers game and lose. It's closer than the final score indicates, but they lose by 15 there. Now only 3-point favorites at Orlando. It is concerning to me a little bit there, but obviously, hopefully, they get off the wagon and get one done there. But that one is another concerning spot to me there.
From an outsider looking in, it's a Bulls number to me. Orlando's been playing great ball.
They have. They're one of the most fun teams to watch, despite their record. One of the most fun teams to watch in the league. I had them. I thought I was ripping up a ticket already. Over 27.5, I think, is what I have, and I think they're on pace to get over 30 at this point.
And they remind me of your OKC team. Who back-to-back Sundays, we've been cashing in on them. When I look at that, to me, because I don't have enough faith in your Bull team. I had a 3 with a 231. Again, they're expecting a high scoring game here. You're expecting a little back and forth here. First one to 117 wins the game here. Actually, first one to 120 wins this game. I think it goes over, and I think it's a Bulls number. I really do.
I hope you're right. Now that and especially when you look at it closer, they're only separated by 3 games, so it's not like I think people still have a perception that this Bulls team should be better, but I don't have enough faith in them. I'm leaving them on the dust. So I am glad that you're turning me in a better direction than they've been. But we'll see about that. I hope you're right. I've become jaded on them. They don't have enough fire. The one thing, though, Nikola Vucevic, this is obviously his old team. He got his ass kind of kicked by them early in the season. This is his old team. This is a direct trade against Wendell Carter and Franz Wagner. Ended up being Franz Wagner, but Wendell Carter kind of ate his lunch a little bit. So I would hope that we've got a spirited Nikola Vucevic in this one, and if the Bulls win, then that might be the reason why there. So. Other one that was smelly. I didn't have many strong thoughts. There's a couple good games, Lakers and Celtics. The one that was smelly to me, though, Phoenix is playing a lot better from what they were. Only 5-point spread there in San Antonio. Was that one sticking out as a little stinky to you? 14-35 San Antonio +5 against the Suns, who lost the other day, but had won 4 or 5 in a row before that.
Definitely. Good eyes there. You know exactly which side that is. That's a Spurs all day number. Absolute Spurs all day.
Yeah. And again, the Suns have been playing better, but I'm trying to see the Spurs got 3 guys questionable, but they've got the guys that they need to have, I would say, for the most part, especially with Keldon Johnson, and that's the big key there. So we'll see. Maybe someone ends up being out for the Suns as far as Chris Paul or DeAndre Ayton. Who knows? That wouldn't surprise me either. What about Lakers and Celtics? Obviously, LeBron on the quest for Kareem's record there. Lakers have been playing 3 of the last 4. They obviously had the huge win against Portland. You were right as far as the Lakers and Clippers. Clippers got them pretty easily there. and then the Lakers turn around and beat the Spurs this week. Celtics, though, three straight losses. What are the thoughts on this one? 8.5-point spread at home. Feeling good about it, or I think they rise to the occasion here, or is this another tough spot for them?
Again, whenever LA comes to town and LeBron's there, Jason thinks he has to put on a show. So I guess all you Jason Tatum fans and all you prop fans can go over on all your props. I'm not a prop guy, never claimed to be. Though we could have some breaking news when it comes to props before you know it. I'm not letting the cat out the bag. I'm just saying we could be starting to do some prop stuff. But anyways, I guess if you had to play this game, I had an 8 with a 236.5. It's down to 233.5, 234. If you wanted to play this game, I said grab your pom-poms, grab your popcorn, take the over, and have some fun with it. This is, again, one of those classics. First one to 120, 123 wins this game. I think it's going to be the old Showtime. Anything you can do, I can do better. And it's a Saturday night special at the Garden.
And I'm not saying to go against him. LeBron, I think, is averaging close to just under 30 points. His total is 28.5, and obviously on the path to the record here. That one is a little smelly to me as far as player props go. Sometimes when I try to pick out a smelly player prop, he ends up going, not LeBron necessarily, but the guy ends up going for 35-40. So I'm not going to bet on it, but maybe tread lightly on the LeBron action there. Tatum is at 31.5. So tread lightly. Everyone's obviously betting over on LeBron, Tatum, Brown, whoever it is. So, I'll leave LeBron on the desk there and go on record saying he stays under 28.5 there.
There you go.
Let's see. That was that I didn't have strong thoughts on that one, but the other two were the ones I was interested in talking about. Aside from that, Toronto is in Portland, 5-point underdogs there. Let's see. Toronto 2 wins against the Knicks and Kings, lose to the Warriors there. Portland gets the last two teams that have kind of been Jekyll and Hyde for the most part. We've talked about this Raptors team enough. So I don't know what to expect out of this one. I'll say the Blazers win, but maybe the Raptors keep this one close.
Yeah, again, they throw out a 5. We had a 5 overnight with a 232.5. It's 5 right now at circa. There's only one way this number can go, and that's Toronto money, and we're waiting for them to wake up. To me, it smells like a Portland. It's at 231. This is probably one of those, let's say, 118, 110 games, somewhere around there where Toronto will hang around and Portland, ends up winning, pushing the game late and wins by 7, 8, or 9 or something stupid like that.
And I'm with you. And honestly, I do like Portland. They just scored 147, 134. Their team total is only 118.5. So I don't know. I think this could just be an ugly Toronto. Toronto's offense has been good the last few as well. So, I'm staying out of it. But, I think Portland finds a way to win this one here.
I agree.
Any of these other games that you had any interest in? I didn't have too much going on with it. I guess Kings and Wolves. Kings -3 in Minnesota here. The Kings win-loss the last 4 there. Minnesota playing well for their last 5 wins here. So I don't know. I guess I'll lean towards the Kings, but this is another one that I just wasn't really interested in at all.
Yeah, I had a 2 with a 239. It's at 238.5. Again, these big totals, when I see them, there's only one way the number can go, and that's down. But I usually think, there'll be a clunker here and there. But, again, first one to 125 wins. I mean, that's the way I look at this game.
Yep. I made that reaction because I didn't have it on my screen. I switched over to basketball on my one screen that I've got here. But Max Homa and Sam Ryder tied at 11 under. Homa has caught him with the rest of the back 9 to go. Matsuyama still only 2 back. Jason Day 3 back. Ricky Fowler, who we didn't talk about, and Thigala 3 back as well. And Morikawa and Sung J M. So we might have some fireworks out of that one. And shout out to Ricky Fowler and Jason Day for getting themselves out of whatever they've been in the last year or two. They're both of those guys are starting to play better right now.
How many holes left does Jason have?
He is through 13, so he's really
All
got to
right.
get hot here these last 5, 6 holes, whatever it is there.
Well, Vegas was spot on too. Guys, anyone watching and listening that doesn't follow golf, that wants to start following golf, myself and Riley, especially as this picks up, we come in on Sundays. We don't look at the leaderboard, the top of the leaderboard. We don't usually even look at the middle of the leaderboard. We'll take a guy that's 7 or 8 back and we're getting the best odds because that's what it takes, one of those 7, 8, 9 unders or someone to come back to the pack. You're looking at a guy that's got a 4-shot lead and you're saying, well, there's no way in hell someone that's 8 shots back can catch him. Well, you got to take him to come back to the pack and your guy then to make the leap up. Perfect example is when we started this show an hour and 10 minutes ago. Ryder had a 4-shot lead. 4 shots. Yet he was only minus 125. And that was after Rahm double bogeyed. So again, Vegas was telling you Ryder's coming back to the pack, and here comes the pack. And Max Homa was one of those guys sitting there with Morikawa, with Day, with a bunch of these guys. So we're going to start to really educate you guys this year in golf, how to read the leaderboard, how to take effective swings versus just going and gravitating to the big name guys.
Yeah, and especially Rahm makes it made it a little bit easier today with he was minus 110 with Rahm 4 back for a second rider was, and so you think, okay, well they think Rahm's still going to come out of this pack. And then he double bogeys in it. I was honestly expecting to pull it up and see minus 175, minus 200 or something like that after that point, and seeing only minus 125 with just Max Homa. I think whoever was third was 10-1, and Max Homa was right there at 360. So. I scooped up Max Homa, so I've got 3 guys that if they win, I'm collecting some money there. So would like Finau or Morikawa to be the guys. That'll be a little bit more than the Homa payout, but I'll take the win with Homa if I can get it.
You take any win you can get, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Anything else in your end?
No, not as far as today is concerned. I don't know what you were thinking as far as the show tomorrow or not with the football games and whatever college basketball slate there is, but that was all I had for today.
Yeah, I think we're going to do something tomorrow. We'll do the games tomorrow. There's a chance. I don't know. We haven't done one in 2 months. That Scott Webb might come on tonight and break down the 2 games like he does it.
Okay.
And then tomorrow, what we can do is we'll come on and we'll do the college basketball slate and we'll break down those 2 games. I'm pulling up the hockey as we speak. The Bruins haven't lost 2 in a row all year, guys. And they're playing the Florida Panthers team tonight that is struggling. And Florida lost its last game. I think it was last night, actually, and at home. And the reason I bring this up is when the Bruins came on this Florida swing last time, they beat Tampa, and then we went against them against Florida, and Florida's already beaten the Bruins. Now they go to Tampa this time, and they lost. So the Bruins finally going to lose 2 in a row, and the Panthers going to beat them 2 in a row. My overnight number was 160 favored by the Bruins. There's only one way that number can go and is down. The Bruins are now minus 145. So I'm going to go into, I don't want you to lay 145, people, but I'm going to go into my trusty team totals here, page at wagertalk.com/free odds. You can get that for free, peeps. 122, so 122 and 40. Hey, 122. And would you say the first half number was 43 or 48?
48. That was for the Rice game. Yeah, it's a loser still.
What did it get to 75?
70 to 52. Oh, yeah, 75 to 70. Yes, 76 or 77. I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. So it missed by a bucket.
Yep.
All right. So hockey team totals, people. Bruins team total 3.5 over minus 120. Panthers 2.5 over minus 160. I don't like giving out minus 120 is probably as far as I'll go on this. Take a look at the Bruins team total over 3.5 tonight, minus 120. I like to give out a juicy one for everyone here as well. All right, we're going to go Connor McDavid and Edmonton. Team total over 4.5. They got to get to 5 tonight. They got to get to 5 plus 105.
Against my Blackhawks, right?
Yes. You got the Bruins team total over 3.5 minus 120. And you got Connor McDavid getting to 5 tonight plus 105.
Hey, we're trying to lose, so I could definitely buy into that one there. So, no, I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Closing thoughts, sir.
Closing thoughts, nothing crazy. Obviously, everyone's looking forward to tomorrow's football games. So, obviously, don't run yourself out today. Obviously, plenty of college basketball that we just broke down. Still some good golf in action there. So, no, nothing crazy. And be on the lookout. I'll be actually giving out more golf picks content coming forward. Was waiting for a couple weeks to get a feel for who's playing well, who's not playing well before I dove into anything there. So, gonna get rolling with some golf picks coming soon. And aside from that, hopefully my Bulls can turn things around and get out of this damn basement that they're in, or the bad Jekyll and Hyde back and forth that they continue to be. So, other than that, nothing crazy, my friend.
Arkansas Baylor at half, 33-27. ECSI VIPs, the second half total is 74 and a half. So we are pacing, not on pace here. We have over 141 there. It went quiet. Baylor at 5:54 of the first half, they were up 20-20. They get outscored 13-3. So Baylor scored 3 points in the last basically 6 minutes. So we're not pacing where we want to be, but hold on tight. It will be a big second half there. Again, keep eyes and ears for potential show tonight with myself and Scott Webb. It's been 2 months. We might be breaking down the 2 NFL games. Otherwise, myself and Riley will be back tomorrow. Break down some college hoops, some NHL, any NBA, and of course the 2 conference championship games. I will just say this. My spider senses are up because I'm going to go to the football right now to see if he's changed it. But there is chances that you can go and play the Super Bowl right now. And our friends at Circa, Jeffrey Benson, Derek Stevens, Mr. Metcalf, have posted the NFC -2 and an under-over of 37.5. Last time I looked, the 85 Bears aren't there. Or the Baltimore Ravens with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. There's been some other good defenses as well. So I'm starting to get some spidey senses because they're telling me right now, in my thought, in my mind, that the Super Bowl is going to be 49ers versus Cincinnati. Because there's no way in holy hell they're laying the 37.5 with the Patrick Mahomes team, first of all. They're not. They'll have bags and bags and bags of money. I don't care if it's the 49ers. You're trying to tell me Patrick Mahomes is not going to put up. If you're laying a 37.5, Patrick Mahomes has to get to 17, and the Niners then would have to win 20-17 for that game not to go over 37.5.
Right.
Okay. So I starting to say that they're because they don't take bags on these games. They might take 2 dimes. Maybe they're taking 5 dimes. Maybe they're taking 10 at most. But I would assume most of the shops would go to the 37.5. It's 38 across the whole world. And these guys are laying 37. So they're either baiting us into an under or what? I cannot remember a 37.5 in a Super Bowl in a long time. So where I'm going with this is maybe they're trying to keep people away from betting Kansas City and Philly this weekend. Maybe they're trying to get the Joe Burrow money. Maybe they're trying to get the 49er money. So we're clouded.
Yeah.
And it was right before our eyes. That's all you had to do is go to the window tomorrow and bet the 2 home teams. You had to go bet Philly, and you just had to go bet Kansas City. Now, I don't know. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to see where the overnight money again goes. By now, it's too late. Right now, at Circa, it's 2.5, 45.5 on the San Fran Philly game. Everyone I hear, everyone I talk to in my trusted circles, everyone loves the under. I think Philly's going to pick the back end apart. I think San Fran's going to score. I think that game goes flying over 45.5, if you want my honest 2 cents there. Cincinnati, Kansas City, now back down to 1.5 Kansas City with a 48. I think Kansas City's the play here. I mean, I would probably play the money line. But listen, Joe's 3-0.
I know.
They got a better running game. They got a better defense. They got a better kicker. I'll check the boxes on Kansas City, a coaching, tight end, home field, and a slight lean. Just a smidge is the quarterback, but he's got the bum ankle, so it's a toss-up at quarterback.
I know. But I also, as far as I don't like using this as why I bet something, and I'm not necessarily saying I do. I have so much more success in the regular season than I do in the playoffs. It's mostly entertainment for me at this point, unless there was one earlier, Dallas against Tampa, that I was, loved as much as, any random or any, full confidence play. From aside from betting perspective, the whole narrative of what motivated the Bengals was everyone talking about the neutral site game, Bills and Chiefs, and now all you're hearing is these guys talking about Burrowhead Stadium, and their mayor is Cincinnati's mayor is saying something. There's no reason to give a team that type of bulletin board. Obviously, if you have confidence in your team, you have confidence in your team, but the bulletin board aspect of it, as far as giving them extra motivation, I don't understand, and maybe it's fueling themselves, but I don't know. I think the Chiefs could be coming out, aside from Patrick Mahomes and his bum ankle, everyone coming out pissed off and ready to not only end the 3-0 streak like you talked about, but get that type of talk off the airwaves.
Cincinnati's defense has allowed 17 and less forever.
Yeah.
They have just allowed 10 to Buffalo on a snowy, wet track, which was a perfect storm for them. I'm thinking out loud here, and it just, the narrative here this week is Joe Burrow versus Mahomes and his ankle.
Yep.
What have you done for me lately? Okay, so you telling me you're going to hold Josh Allen and Buffalo to 10 points. So you're going to keep Mahomes to 17 or less. Okay. A fired up Mahomes. Now, you know what no one's talking about? That the Bengals should have lost the first damn week of the playoffs. If the quarterback doesn't leap from the 2 and think that he's, I don't know, who did he think he was?
I don't know.
Michael Vick? Did he think he was? I
Newton,
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They were about to go up a touchdown. Instead, it was a scoop and score, a 99-yard touchdown. No one's talking about that.
Right.
It's all they're talking about is Buffalo and snowstorm, Burrowhead Stadium, and Patrick Mahomes with the bum ankle. If you want me to replay last year's championship game, I can. The fact that Kansas City was up 14 with one play left before the first half. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't pull a temper tantrum, if Andy Reid pulls him by his ear and says, "Get over here, son, I'm kicking the field goal to go up 17, and we get the ball to the second half," that game's entirely different. They don't get a field goal off. They come back. Patrick Mahomes is like Linus without his blanket, and Cincinnati does what they do best, and they have a great second half. Yeah. Regular season this year in Cincinnati, Kansas City's up 10 in the second half, and then a late turnover by Kels, and next thing you know, Cincinnati wins. So they're catching all the breaks. Good teams do this. Burrow has it. He has the moxie. He has the balls. He's got better wide receivers than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I get all that.
Yeah.
If you put a gun to my head right now, today, and I could flip tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
I think it's Philly and Kansas City. That's what I think.
You and I are lockstep, my friend. It's again, I don't have as much success in the playoffs as I do in the regular season. I'm far more successful in the regular season, but I am with you. If you put a gun to my head and made me pick, I am with you as far as Philly and the Chiefs, and for a lot of the same reason that you mentioned, as far as Philly being able to maybe tear up San Francisco's back end, I've been calling for, and San Francisco should have lost to Dallas. Dallas played a better game than them. Dak Prescott was just the two back-breaking mistakes. Dallas should have won that game, and their defense was good enough to win that game, and I think Philly could do very similar things to that offense, if not worse. I've been calling for some Brock Purdy regression eventually. finally starting to hit some defenses that can give him some pain. And I think this Eagles in this environment, I'm with you. I haven't made any plays on it yet, but and it might be tough to get into, and I might not get into it at all. But I am with you, leaning towards Philly and Kansas City there. And
the comedy is, I'm sitting here holding Bengals 13-1, and I'm holding 49ers 12, 13, 14-1. And the only thing I have on those other sides is Hurts Super Bowl MVP plus 650 and Mahomes Super Bowl MVP plus 400, which are great numbers because you're not going to get on 2 Sundays from now if those two meet. But if I got a 13-1 versus a 14-1 in the Super Bowl, I could give a flying rat's ass who plays, who wins that game. I'm just sitting back. I don't care.
Right. No, I for that sake, I'm hoping that's what we get. But I know it's. I'd feel a lot better if I honestly would feel a lot better if the Bengals weren't talking the way they are. I not as much the Bengals offense has had a lot of success against the Chiefs defense, but you have to imagine at home they're going to be pissed off and trying to be a reason that they don't lose that game at the very least. The Chiefs defense there.
No, I agree, and like I said, we'll come on tomorrow. We'll tee it up. No pun intended there. Last update on the scoreboard in golf.
Still the same, I think. Homa and Ryder tied at 11 through 9. Matsuyama 2 back. He's through 12. Keegan Bradley, I think there's a bunch of guys here at 8. Keegan Bradley, Morikawa, Sung J M all at 8. Day dropped 1 back, so did Fowler and Thigala there. Rom not having a good day today. Finau was the other guy that I thought might have a nice day today. He's not playing as well. So that's about it there. And Illinois gets a 10-point win at Wisconsin. So I am feeling good about that one there.
All right. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have some fun. Listen, guys, the week is almost over. Don't get over your skis. Keep it within. Check your balances for the end of the week coming up. If you're up a couple units, sprinkle a little beer and pizza, a little scratchy-atchy on the little parlay if you need to. If you want to get cute here and you wanted to do the San Fran parlay, please do that. Take a look at the Bruins team total over 3.5, minus 120 there. Edmonton team total over 4.5 to get to 5 or better at plus 105 or even money. Take a look at the San Fran Dons to win tonight. I don't know about the 4, but I think they win. And Washington State, that 9 number smells to holy hell. You got a huge, this Arizona State team, 15 and whatever they are. 3-point dogs to Washington State. So keep an eye on that. So we'll be back potentially, me and Scott Webb, later tonight. If not, we'll see you in the morning.